So Aljamain Sterling defends his bantamweight title against TJ Dillashaw at UFC 280. It goes down on Saturday night in Abu Dhabi. Let's talk about it before we do. My name is Rahul J. Chan. This is The Battle Camp. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. So look, man, Aljamain Sterling dominated Peter Yan. Shocked a lot of people, surprised a lot of people. I'm pretty sure he was the underdog going into that fight. And he went in there and he put a beating on Peter Yan, to be totally honest. And just as soon as that final bell went and it was clear as day that Aljamain Sterling had comprehensively outpointed Peter Yan, he had that belt wrapped around his waist, the mic put in his face, and the name on his lips was TJ Dillashaw. Right away, TJ Dillashaw, boy, you're next, he said. And that's exactly what's happened. Aljamain Sterling is going to be defending his title against TJ Dillashaw. I think now, finally, Aljamain Sterling is getting the respect that he deserves as a mixed martial artist. He proved a lot of people wrong, but it wasn't so much that he proved a lot of people wrong. To me, it was just it was night and day difference between the first time he fought Peter Yan in comparison to the next time he fought him. The first time he fought Peter Yan, it was like he was just, it was like he wasn't fighting to a game plan. He was just throwing for the sake of throwing. He was trying to go for takedowns out of desperation. Nothing was being set up. He always found himself off balance for some reason. And I had my doubts about whether he could improve on that performance because of the excuse that he had as to why he had that performance. It was something like, oh, I ate in the day or something, and it was something to do with the meal that he had. Either he ate too late, or he ate too much, he ate a different meal to usual, and he just didn't feel like himself. I just feel like the pressure got to him. The pressure got to him in that fight, and he started to get tired, and then he got desperate, and he got anxious, and he started fighting out of character. And I feel like the second time he went into this fight against Peter Yan, he kind of felt like he had nothing to lose because everyone had already written him off. Everyone already believed that he had lost that first fight. And I feel like that kind of allowed him to relax a little bit. And because he felt less pressure, he was able to just put together the type of fight that he's capable of doing. But I feel as though Aljamain Sterling has inconsistent performances. Whether that's just psychological, whether that's physical, because we know that he's had this lingering neck injury for ages, which now he says is sorted out, and actually that might have played into one of the reasons why he was so improved in the rematch with Peter Yan in comparison to the first time they fought each other. But I have a feeling we see the best version of Aljamain Sterling on Saturday night. The question is that Aljo good enough to beat TJ Dillashaw? Years ago, when TJ Dillashaw was the king of the castle, the champ, you'd have said, no way, because TJ Dillashaw is a very strong wrestler, and Aljamain Sterling's strength is mixing up his offense. He's not just someone that will stand and strike with you. He'll mix up, he'll try and take you down, he'll strike. He's very active, he moves around a lot. Guess what? TJ Dillashaw does the same thing. He does the same thing, and to me, and I'm not an expert, but to me, it feels as though TJ Dillashaw, just by the eye test, technically is a more technically sound striker than Aljamain Sterling. His footwork, the way he moves in and out. Aljamain Sterling is unorthodox, but also I feel like you catch him off balance in times and moments in fights. That was a lot less visible to me in the Peter Yan fight, but I think that's because he was able to rely on his wrestling and grappling a lot, because Peter Yan just wasn't at the same level as him. TJ Dillashaw, on the other hand, that's a whole different problem. So to me, I'm sitting here looking at this fight thinking, what kind of game plan does Aljamain Sterling go in with to negate TJ Dillashaw's strengths? What can he do? And I struggle to find answers. TJ Dillashaw will go down. TJ Dillashaw could have gone. No, let me say this again. TJ Dillashaw was. Why am I struggling so much? TJ Dillashaw was going to be the best fighter ever in the bantamweight division until he pissed dirty. And this isn't one of those, oh, it's a tainted supplement, I didn't do anything wrong. This is, he's owned up, I cheated. I took performance enhancing drugs. And the contentious part of all of this is, how long was this going on? He says, "Oh, I only did it to lose the weight to fight Henry Cejudo." But if you're willing to do it in that instance, to go down a weight class and become this legend of a fighter that you were trying to be, then who's to say you weren't doing it to rise the ranks, to get a title shot in the first place, when testing was less stringent? I don't know, right? But I'd hazard a guess and say that this guy is fighting clean now because he's had to face the consequences of being found out. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say to you guys that I believe that TJ Dillashaw is definitely going to be a diminished version in comparison to the Dillashaw before his what's it called, his ban, right? But we did see TJ Dillashaw in a back and forth with Corey Sandhagen. Having said that, that was his return fight after his ban. Like, he didn't just come in and fight a warm-up fight, someone in the top 15 to work his way back up, get rid of the ring rust. He went in there and he fought one of the best guys in the division. And not only did he fight one of the best guys in his division, he fucked up his knee during the fight and still carried on. Now, I don't know what round it happened in. Something tells me that it was a first round, but someone in the comments can tell me if I'm wrong or right on that. But at some point, he fucked his knee up and he still went on to win that fight. And I know it was a debatable win. Some people believe that Corey Sandhagen won. If I'm honest with you, I can't remember who I thought won that fight. I remember watching it and enjoying it, but I can't honestly sit here and tell you that I thought it was 3-2 to Corey or 3-2 to TJ. But the fact is, he went in there and had a very close fight with a top bantamweight in the division, right? But he's been out because of that injury. And he's been out for a year and a half, give or take, right? So July 14 months, or no, August, September. 15 months. Maths was a bit off there. So I don't know what version of TJ Dillashaw comes back in, right? I don't know what version of TJ Dillashaw comes back into the octagon. What I do know is he's 36 years old, and guys at the lighter weights age quicker than guys at heavier weights, right? Having said that, I always remember when he got banned, Dominic Cruz came out and said, that's not a punishment. This allows him to have some time off to rejuvenate, rehab any injuries that he had, and he did that. He had 2 surgeries, one on each shoulder, to sort out his shoulders. It allows him to recuperate, and he'll just come back and he'll be a better version of himself. And that's exactly what I don't know if that's exactly what we saw on his fight against Corey Sandhagen, but it didn't look like he dropped down many levels, you know? Look, I personally would prefer it if Aljamain Sterling won, because I've always liked Aljamain Sterling. I've been a fan of his personality, and I think that he's had a career that I question less and I feel deserves more than TJ Dillashaw. Another reason why I don't really want TJ Dillashaw to win is he's got that juice company that he set off while he was serving a ban for taking performance-enhancing drugs, and he called it clean juice. Now, if that isn't a slap in the face, I don't know what is. Honestly speaking, I don't know what is. But I have my reservations about whether Aljamain Sterling will have enough. I feel like TJ Dillashaw is well-rounded enough to be able to deal with what Aljamain Sterling can do. What will be interesting is if Aljamain Sterling is able to get TJ Dillashaw to the ground and turn it into a jiu-jitsu exchange, whether that is an area in which Aljamain Sterling can take advantage of TJ Dillashaw. But I don't know. I feel like on the feet, TJ Dillashaw is well capable of outstriking Aljamain Sterling. I don't know if Aljamain Sterling's style is I don't know if TJ Dillashaw's style is a good fit for Aljamain Sterling to beat, if I'm honest with you. My heart's telling me Aljamain Sterling, my head's telling me TJ Dillashaw. I feel like we'll probably have a new champion on Saturday night, but I hope I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Don't be scared to hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.